Pranam, I am Priyanshi Rayal, a student of Vikramshila Coaching Institute, Chaudabiga, Rishikesh. Today I am going to explain you the federal system of Indian Constitution. Political scientists have classified governments into unitary and federal on the basis of relation between the national government and regional government. By definition, a unitary government is one in which all the powers are vested in the national government, and the regional government, if it does exist, uh, derive its power from the national government. The federal government is one in which the powers are divided between both the national government and the regional government by the constitution itself, and both operate in their respective jurisdiction independently. The Britain, Sweden, Norway, etc. have a unitary form of government, while Brazil, Argentina, Switzerland, Australia have federal system of government. In federal form of government, the national government is also known as federal government, union government, and central government, and the regional government is also known as state government and provincial government. The term federation is derived from a Latin word "fidus", which means agreement and treaty. Agreement and treaty. Thus, a federation is a treaty and agreement between various units. The units of the federation is also known from different names like uh, states in US, provinces in Canada, cantons in Switzerland, and republics in USA. The federation can be formed by two ways, that is by integration or by disintegration. In the first case, a number of military weak and economically backward states come together to form a big and strong center, as in USA. In the second case, a big unitary state is converted into a federation for promoting autonomy to the provinces and increase regional interest, as in Canada. The American Federation is the first and oldest federation of the world. It is formed in 1787 following the American Revolution. It consists 50 states, and it is a model of federation. The Canadian Federation is also quite old and formed in 1867. The Constitution of India establishes a federal form of government. The constitution makers adopted the federal system due to two main reasons. First, the large size of the country, and second, its socio-cultural diversities. They wanted a form of government which would be efficient in which would be helpful in the which would be efficient in the governance of the country, and reconciles the national unity with the regional interest. The national unity with the regional autonomy. However, the term federation is nowhere mentioned in the Indian Constitution. Instead, the Article First of the Indian Constitution says, "India, that is Bharat, is a federation of states." According to B.R. Ambedkar, the phrase "union of federation," the term "union of state" has been preferred to federation of state due to two main which indicate two things. First, the Indian Federation is not a result. The Indian Federation is not a result among the states like the American Federation, and second, the states have no right to secede from the federation. The federation is a union which is indestructible. The Indian federal system is largely based on the Canadian federal system. The Canadian Federation is fundamentally differs from the American Federation as so far as it establishes a strong center. The Indian federal system resembles the Canadian system in its formation, that is by way of disintegration, or in its preference to the term union. The Canadian Federation is also known as union. And third, in its centralizing tendency, that is vesting more power to the center vis-a-vis the states. Some features of federal system are first, dual polity. The Constitution of India provides dual polity, consisting a union at the center and the state at its periphery. The union government deals with the matter of national importance like currency, communication, defense, foreign affairs, etc., while the state government deals with the matters related to regional or local importance like public order, health, sanitation, agriculture, local government, etc. Second, written constitution. The Indian Constitution is not only a written document but a lengthiest constitution of the world. Originally, our Indian Constitution contained a preamble, 395 articles divided into 22 parts and 8 schedules. But at present, the Indian Constitution contained a preamble, about 470 articles divided into 25 parts and 12 schedules. It specifies the functions, structures, and organization of the central and state government. Thus that it avoids disagreements and misunderstanding between both the two organs of the government, both two organs of the government. नहीं both से टू से होना बोलूँगी, both between both organs of the government. फिर third, division of power. The Constitution of India provides division of power between the center and the regional government through a union list, state list, and concurrent list in the 7th schedule. The union list consists 98 subjects, the state list consists 59 subjects, and the concurrent list consists 52 subjects. The center and state both make laws on the concurrent list, but in case of conflict, the central law prevails. The residuary powers are given only to the center. Fourth, supremacy of the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The laws enacted by the central and state government must conform to its provision. Otherwise, they will be declared invalid by the Supreme Court or High Court by their power of judicial review. Thus, the organs of the government must operate in their in the limitations prescribed by the Constitution. Fourth, rigid Constitution. The division of power and the supremacy of the Constitution can be maintained only if the process of amendment is tough. The Indian Constitution is rigid to that extent that in amending the federal character of the Indian Constitution, it requires a joint action of both the center and the state. Some provisions can be amended only by a special majority of the parliament and an approval of half of the state legislature. Sixth, independent judiciary. The Constitution of India establishes an independent judiciary headed by Supreme Court for two main reasons. First, to protecting the supremacy of the Constitution, and second, to settle disputes between the state and the center and between the center. The Constitution of India provides various measures like fixed tenure of judges and like fixed service conditions of judges and security of tenures for making the independent judiciary independent of the government. Seventh, bicameralism. The Constitution of India provides a bicameralism consisting Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha represents the Federation of Indian states, and the Lok Sabha represents the people of India as a whole. The Rajya Sabha is required to maintain the federal equilibrium as to protect the states from the undue interference of the union of the center. Features of a unitary form of government are first, a strong center. The Constitution of India, the division of power is in favor of the center and highly inequitable from the federal angle. Firstly, the union list have more subjects. Second, the union list consists more important subjects. Third, the center has overriding power in the concurrent list. Finally, the residuary powers are only given to the center. Second, state not indestructible. Usually in federation, the states have the right to territorial integrity, but in India, the states have no such right. The parliament can, by its unilateral action, can amend the name, areas, and boundaries of the state either by simple majority or by special majority. Thus, the Indian Federation is indestructible union of destructible states, while the American Federation is indestructible states of the indestructible union. Fourth, a single constitution. In other federation, the state government can also frame their constitution, but in India, the states have no right to form their constitution. The Constitution of India embodies both the central and the state government. Both the center and the state government must operate in a single frame. The exception in this regard was the exception in this regard was the case of erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, which had its own constitution. Fourth, fifth, fourth, flexibility of the constitution. Flexibility of the constitution. The Indian constitution is not as rigid as than what is found in other federation. A bulk of constitution can be amended by a unilateral action of the parliament, either by a simple majority or by a special majority. Further, the power to initiate a amendment to the constitution is given only to the center. फिर सिक्स्थ फिर फिफ्थ हाँ नो इक्वालिटी ऑफ स्टेट रिप्रेजेंटेशन. The states are given representation in the states are given a representation in the Lok Sabha on the basis of their population. It varies from 1 to 31. However, in America, the principle of equal representation of states in the upper house is fully recognized. Hence, the American Senate has 100 members, two from each. फिर अगला है सिक्स्थ इमरजेंसी प्रोविजन. The Constitution of India provides three types of emergency, that is national, state, and financial. In case of emergency, the center become all powerful, and the state goes into the total control of it. Thus, the federal structure converted into a unitary one without a formal amendment of the Constitution. This kind of transformation is not found in any other federation. फिर seventh, integrated single citizenship. The Constitution of India, like the Canadian Federation, the Indian Federation, like the Canadian Federation, adopted the system of single citizenship. Thus, the Indian Constitution provides only the national citizenship and not any other citizenship. All citizens, irrespective of the state they born or reside, must have equal rights all over the country. In other federal states like US, Switzerland, Australia have dual polity, that is, have a dual citizenship, that is national citizenship or state citizenship. Next है integrated judiciary. The Constitution of India provides an integrated judiciary by Supreme Court at the top and the state high courts below it. This single system of court enforces both the central law and the state law. Ninth, all India services. In US, there is a separate service commission for the state government and the central government. In India also, the state government and the central government had their separate service commission. In addition, there is all India services like IAS, IPS, IFOS, which are common to both the center and the state. The members of the services are recruited and trained by the center, which possesses ultimate control over them. Next, integrated audit machinery. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India audits the account of both the central and the state government. He is appointed by the president without consulting. He is appointed and removed by the president without consulting the state. Thus, this office restricts the financial autonomy of the states. फिर नहीं इसके अगला वाला नहीं जो इसके नीचे वाले का पॉइंट का नाम इसके नीचे वाला हाँ, appointment of governor. The appointment is the governor, which is the head of the state, is appointed by the president. He holds his office during the pleasure of the president. He holds office during the pleasure of the president. He acts as a center of the he acts as a agent of the center. Through him, the center can exercise absolute control over the state. Next, integrated election machinery. The Election Commission of India conducts election of both the state legislature and the central legislature. This body is constituted by the president and can be removed only by him. And the state have no say in this matter. Uh, and the state have no say in this matter. Next, uh, veto over state bill. The governor can reserve certain bill passed by the state legislature for the consideration of the president. The president can withhold his assent not only in the first instance but also in the second instance. Thus he gets absolute veto over the state bills. बस इतना ही है. Thank you.